I hosted a giant PvP tournament between 16 of the most proficient players inside of my clan. This tournament contained many insanely skilled and experienced Bedwars players with extremely high win counts and outstanding techniques and strategies. Each participant was randomly placed into a knockout bracket, each being assigned one opponent each. The way it worked was if they won the first round, they qualified to the quarterfinals, if they won the second round, they move on to the semi-finals and so on. However, if they lost, they'd be eliminated from the entire tournament with no way of getting back in. Players were given a set of diamond armor as well as an iron sword to PvP with. They each PvP'd each other 10 times and the player with the highest amount of kills moved on to the next round. Basically, best out of 10 PvPs moved on. If both players drew the round, it would go on to a sudden death, resulting in both players PvPing one last time the emerald armor to determine the round winner. The main rules were simple: no cheats, glitches or exploits were allowed. But of course, there was a twist which no one else knew about. I secretly snuck into my own PvP tournament on my little brother's account without anyone knowing, and some of the reactions I got were actually so comical. This was all just for content purposes and to find out how experienced my clan members really were at the game. Sorry if I spoiled it for anyone. Hopefully this makes up for it. Enjoy. For my first match I went up against a clan member known as Bacon Buddy. He's a small content creator and a huge fan of me and my content. Obviously I couldn't have anyone finding out that it was me playing on the account, so I had to load up my PC and pretend I was observing the match from my main account. I didn't train for this tournament, I was too busy organising it and doing other things, but here I was competing in this huge event against some of the best and most skilled Bedwars players in my entire clan with no idea what to expect. So I gathered the gear that was needed for the PvP and prepared for my first match in the tournament. Here I was about to begin my first round of the competition. If I were to lose this, it would all be over so soon, so it was vital that we ensure we got this victory. Since this was my brother's account and he rarely plays Roblox, I had no animation or anything, so we were at a huge disadvantage, especially considering our opponent was using levitation jump, which is actually the animation that gives the biggest hitbox in the entire game. Both players were told to go opposite sides of the arena and to touch the back of the wall to prevent any unfairness. After that, all we had to do was wait for the signal and begin the battle. I quickly changed my FOV and waited for the signal. In order to make it through to the next round, I needed to win the most PvPs out of the 10 that we needed to play. To get the most out of your PvP in Bedwars, you had to aim directly on your opponent's character. First PvP was a success, but unfortunately I can't say the same about the next one. I don't really know what happened here, I guess I just got comboed. After that last one I picked up my game and pulled off a nice combo. I'll be back, mate. For the fourth PvP I started timing my jumps to counter the animation combo he was using. Kinda worked. Anyways, at this point I had confidence in myself. I didn't really want to mess around, so I just went all out and got it over and done with. Damn, 52 HP combo. Nice. He called me good up in the chat. Most people would generally be really toxic about it, but this guy was actually really nice. At this point I should have just stopped. Got it! But I didn't. I decided to completely annihilate him instead. Oh, 4 HP. He wasn't bad, just not quite on my level. Facing the other way, how did I actually win that? Way too close for my liking. Now this gotta be embarrassing for him, getting 52 HP comboed in front of his idol. Damn. Now for the final PvP, here goes nothing. Nah, man's getting comboed against the wall, 52 HP again by a no animation user. Well, I don't know what to say, GG's. On to round 2. So here were the results for round 1. Here's me in bracket 10 disguised as BW Devil. We moved on from the first round with the highest kill margin throughout the entire bracket, advancing through round 1 with a final score of 9 kills to 1. Our next opponent was another competitive clan member known as Cord. The entire bracket was randomized, so if you're watching this and you got up against me, I'm sorry. Anyways, may the second round commence. Following the same routine as the previous match, I did so many things, including changing the way I spoke and acted around my opponents in order to keep my identity hidden and prevent others from finding out that it was me. Didn't want any assumptions made, and luckily it worked. No one even expected it. He was using the exact same animation as me, so this made things a lot easier, because everyone knows they do make an impact when it comes to PvP. This way there were no advantages or disadvantages, it was a completely fair PvP involving nothing but pure skill. Yeah, boy.
Target neutralized.
It's good to be consistent with your hits, timing them and your jumps can be the key to becoming one of the best PvPs. As you can see, I sold here, he managed to get behind me, I still managed to win the fight. At this stage it was 6-0, meaning he had no way of being able to make a comeback. sped up the footage here because no one wants to see poor Cord getting slaughtered over and over again. We traded hits quite a bit this round, I most likely timed it wrong. It also makes a huge difference if you can force your opponent towards a wall, basically allows you to combo them easier. He asked me how I was so good and assumed that I taught my brother. I just replied with no, then continued with the PvP. This was the final PvP. I started off well, then took some heavy knockback, allowing him to crit a combo on me.
You serious?
Anyways, that was the end of that round, with the final scores being 8 kills to his 2. Poor guy. That brings us to the semi-finals, the top 4 competitors inside of the entire tournament. All the remaining players have won the same amount of matches that I have. You can call them the most experienced PvPers taking part in the entire tournament. I'll be going up against Ali in the semi-finals, who's actually an administrator in my Discord server. He's no doubt one of the best PvPers in the entire clan. And on the other side of the bracket we have Reaper going up against Grass. Here goes nothing, and may the semi-finals begin. I knew this was going to be the most intense match yet. Everyone throughout the entire tournament was hyping Ali up. They all created predictions assuming he'd win the entire thing. I knew this round was going to be a challenge and I was looking forward to see the result. I've asked around my community in the past who everyone thought the best PvPer was in BW, and many of them all pointed towards Ali, so I was interested to see how this would turn out. At this point, my opponents who I'd beaten in my previous matches were hyping me up. Well, Devil in my case. Ignore me just sitting here giving all the iron and emeralds out, which no one realised by the way. Anyways, I was getting hyped up after the results of my previous match against Cord, so I'm sure that may have scared Ali a bit. The minute we joined into the match, he typed a message into the chat saying he feels like he was going to lose. I just responded with saying I'm bad. After that we got into our positions prepared for the PvP. He responded to me saying nah, I know, not sure what he meant by that, so I just chose to ignore him. Here it was, the semi-finals match, the match that would determine who made it into the finale and have a 50-50% chance of winning the entire tournament and being titled the best PvPer in BW. Both parties were asked whether they were ready, and then the semi-finals match began. He was using levitation jump, so I had no idea what the outcome would have been. However, I was still off to an amazing start. The PvP was still much closer than any of my previous matches. It could go either way. I still had to survive another 9 rounds. His straight up reaction after dying was what the hell. He was literally in shock. The mysterious Devil Bob came from nowhere. No one expected him to get this far to reach the semi-finals, the top 4 throughout this entire tournament. Now going up against one of the best PvPers to ever set foot in the clan itself. There were predictions, assumptions, accusations, all pointing towards Ali dominating this tournament. Then all of a sudden, the turnover, the underdog, the infamous Devil Bob straight up comboing one of the best PvPers on the entire platform. 4 kills to 0, the never-ending, unexpected outcome to this event. He was becoming frustrated and just wanted to get it over with. He already knew he was done for, he just rushed me without the signal even being given. I disguised as Devil Bob was becoming known for my PvP. Everyone was in so much shock. Everyone shall fear the staggering PvP from Devil Bob after this day. At this point, Ali's only hope was to win every other PvP. I'm sure he gave it his all, but here's how it turned out. Yikes, Ali's a good PvPer overall, however I want to see more experienced players as a part of my clan. If you're 13 plus, join my Discord in the description of this video, and join now by creating a ticket in the server. Our in-game clan has max battle pass XP, max member cap and extremely high upgrades in general, so what are you waiting for? Show me what you got. He managed to wall combo me here and successfully pulled off his first kill. He was happy that it didn't turn out to be a 10-0 and that he managed to get a couple kills on me. Overall, my clan members aren't really toxic, they're very fair and a nice community to be a part of. Anyways, this was the last PvP. He played really well towards the end. The final score for that match was 8-2. I didn't expect that myself, but I'm happy with the results. After that he said GG's, then disappeared out of existence. This brought me into the finale. The other match was also a shock to everyone. Grass beat Reaper with a final score of 6-4, meaning I'll be going up against him in the finale to determine the winner of the BW Clan tournament. The winner of this match will be crowned champion. After all the previous matches, all the hard work, advancing through the bracket, it all came down to this, the final round of the BW Clan tournament. I had never seen this guy PvP before, so I had no idea what to expect or how he would perform. The minute we got into the game, he already gained suspicion, pointing out in the chat that I was only level 4. Once again, I'm just giving out the items real quick. They were all copy and pasted, so it didn't take too long. I was on my main account's team every single match so they wouldn't see both of the accounts not moving. I responded to him by saying I just didn't play much anymore and stated roughly the amount of wins the devil had. After all the items were given out, we got into our positions and were ready to begin the finale. Everything came down to this battle. This battle was going to determine the winner of the entire tournament. Everything led up to this moment. Here comes the finale.
3, 2, 1.
We started straight away on the signal. He came in quick, but I managed to get behind him and pull off that starting kill. He was already doubting himself and assuming that he'd lost after the first PvP. When the second round came, he came in rapidly and took away my lead. He was genuinely a really good PvPer. After round 2 he called my health sus, assuming I was cheating or something. When the third battle came we were trading hits. It was so intense but I pulled through with only 4 HP remaining. Round 4 happened and he started calling me so sus in the chat after pulling off a huge 42 HP combo on him. Bet he didn't see that one coming. With the score now being 3-1, he said what the hell and said that I was gliding like hackers. My combos were only getting better. My confidence on winning this thing was only rising. Meanwhile he was already admitting defeat. But at that moment he put his game together and went all out for it, knowing he still had a chance of making a comeback in this. And he did. He managed to kill me, making the scores 2-4. There was still a possibility for him to come back from this. Even though I was the one with the lead, I'm not the type to take any chances, especially when it comes to the finale, so I continued to give it my all. He took another L and continued to create accusations towards my PvP. I chose to ignore it all. I then managed to create a small combo on him during the next fight. However, he either took a huge amount of knockback or he ghost blocked up to the top, which was against the rules. However, I chose to ignore it since I didn't know for sure and continued with the battle. After he managed to get out of that one, we did a redo on that PvP and he was able to get a couple extra hits in to win that round. He knew that the game wasn't over yet and that he could still take this victory.
It's only a game.
He said I was way too sus for him. He tried as hard as he could, putting everything he had into this PvP, but it wasn't enough. Devil Bob came through with 33 HP to spare. Moving on to the final PvP of the finale. The final PvP that will determine the winner of the BW Clan tournament. This was it. It all came down to this. All the hard work organising this entire thing, as well as advancing through all of the rounds inside of the bracket, all came down to this moment. The PvP of the finale, the winner of the BW Clan PvP tournament is... Devil Bob. I won my own tournament disguised as my little brother without anyone finding out that it was me, which was the goal for the entire thing. Then all of a sudden I received this message from our finalist. He said it felt like I was hacking. After leaving on my brother's account, Grass started talking to me on my main account. I told him that it seemed alright to me and he responded to me saying, yeah, alright to you. He was hacking and that his movement was off. After that I told him that we'd discuss it further on Discord and left the game.
I can't believe you've done this.
The minute I opened up Discord, I had several messages from Grass in the tournament group chat that was made for the finale. This is what he had to say. Devil, you're hella sus in my opinion. You're telling me that wasn't hacking. Bro was jumping like 5 blocks over me. Bacon, you're so biased. Just because he's your brother, he was obviously hacking and you still let him win. My brother laughed at it and he said, you looked hella sus, let me PvP you while you screen share. Which obviously I couldn't since he would have found out the truth that it was me on the account. Clearly Grass wasn't happy with the results. After this took place I never heard from him again. I'm pretty sure he left the clan and moved on. However, on the other hand, at least some people got something nice out of it, like this kind fan from round 1. He got a screenshot with his idol that made him so happy. He'd been trying for ages and because of this tournament he was able to get it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this since it took a lot of time, effort and dedication. Thanks for watching to the end and I hope to see you in the next one.